Welcome to the Porn Stars of People podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome to the Comedy's Best Kept Secret Tour podcast. This is, I'm here with Kenny Garcia.
What's up, man?
How are you?
Fantastic.
You are in comedy. That's
a
a thing.
Yeah.
The only thing I really know about you is that we had a decent time at one of these Christmas parties at a comedy club.
I think it was more than a decent time. I think
I heard that you have a man crush on me, which I co-sign. I'm very.
Hey,
I also have a man crush on you.
What's the world without a man crush?
That's what I say.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to have you here. I think this is the fourth or fifth time I booked you, and you've finally made it. You're an elusive young man.
I think it's only the second time, but we can say fourth or fifth if you like.
You're an elusive man.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm gonna get you to confirm on the airwaves here that you're doing the Hoboken Comedy Festival too, since we haven't figured that out yet.
I got an answer for you too.
Okay. So what else is going on? So we're in a place called Revolve in Jersey City. The connector of this show for me was brettdruck.
Yeah.
The very incredible, funny dude.
My comedy boyfriend.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm jealous. Me and brettdruck recently did mushrooms. This is the first time talking about this. I know. About this.
Yeah,
you were supposed to be there.
I was invited, correct. Yeah. And I was going to go, and then I decided against it.
Yeah, what happened?
Some other stuff came. I went hiking, believe it or not, with my dog.
Hiking
with my dog.
But that has nothing to do with what we did, because we did mushrooms at like 7 p.m.
Yeah, I didn't get the time frame, but I did. I was told, come to New Jersey to do mushrooms with you and Brett, or I could hike with my dog in New Jersey. I was here. My dog and we all could have done mushrooms together.
So funny.
Yeah,
and we were with my dog, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been perfect.
You should have just brought the dog, or we could have just still done the mushrooms.
One of those dogs would have probably gotten eaten.
Yeah? Your dog is...
He's a big guy, but he doesn't eat other dogs anymore. No, he's a good dude. He's a good guy.
You said anymore?
Yeah, he used to eat dogs back in his heyday.
You know, you used to crush pussy, and now you chill. Yeah. The dog, same thing. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
Used to eat dogs, now I'm chilling out a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So what's going on with you, man? You're big things, right? I think the last time you canceled on one of these was because big things are happening for you.
I got a meeting with an agency, which was fun. And it's always exciting, but it's always, you don't want to get excited about things.
Nobody's giving me meetings. I don't have any.
You get excited. That was my first real exciting thing with people who I guess matter.
Yeah.
Who can so that was fun to kind of do.
I've had meetings where okay, that's a lie. So I have had meetings with networks where I took the meeting away from myself because I'd be up there and be and I'd start talking about other comics.
Yeah.
And how great they were. And then they end up.
Yeah, I don't do that at all.
Signing those people.
Well, I mean, that's what makes you that's what makes you who you are, and that's why multiple people have man crushes on you. I can't even make eye contact.
I don't know.
With you. It's bizarre. Oh my God.
I don't know who you're claiming cares for me, because
everyone cares for you. Everyone says nice things about you.
I do, because you know what I realized the last couple of years is I didn't come into comedy traditionally because I didn't want to do barking. I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do the bringers and that sort of thing. So I just started a show, which at the time was cool, and it made me look like the man. But then over time, what's happened is I realized a couple different things. Number one, that everybody that I had come to those shows for 4 years, I was the least funny dude on those shows because I was figuring out how to do comedy.
Yeah.
So I'd have Yannis, Pappas, Nate Bargatze, all fucking incredible people on these shows. So now all my friends just think I'm the guy who's not as funny as the rest of people on the show. So that was one. And then two, the other thing was that now that I'm looked at as the guy who runs the show, people are either oh, he doesn't need my help.
Yeah.
Or they're just once I stop booking him, they're oh, well, he doesn't like me anymore.
Fair enough. I think the perception of comedy is that you're doing really great, to be honest with you.
Well,
isn't this your podcast? Shouldn't people know this already? Why don't you share that?
We have no listeners. We have there's nobody's.
This is
I'm going to be honest with people. What am I going to do?
Is this a fresh start? Is this the first podcast?
I created a podcast because I heard that you were coming.
I did. Actually, you won't remember this. I did a show with you super early on in my comedy career.
Oh, yeah?
Alexis Guerrero's show.
Did I? What show was that?
He had a show. I think it was a 1 or 2 show run at a bar on 14th Street and 2nd Avenue.
Really?
Yeah,
what was the bar?
Not Beauty Bar. It was next to. You know what? It may have been. No, it wasn't Beauty. It was
Alexis Guerrero's has never particularly liked me, so I don't know that.
That was a long time ago. Now I know why. It's probably something happening at that show. But you would tell me
I
on
love
the
Alexis.
show. Yeah, he's a great dude.
And they're killing it with their little. We're just
Cooligans.
The Cooligans.
This
podcast.
is what I did in my meeting. I just
plugged other people's shit.
So Alexis
What's
is
wrong with us?
Alexis is doing great.
Seriously, that's the problem because we're in the comedy community, right? So then what happens is we appreciate everybody in the comedy community. So then when people are like, "So what's going on?"
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I just hung out with Drew Michael and Andrew Schultz last night. That was one of the better
You look a lot
days
like
of
Drew
my
too.
week.
Drew's a good dude.
I think if you combined Andrew Schultz and Drew Michael, you might get me.
You. All right.
Except they're doing comedy at a far higher level than me, so
All
that's
right.
not even fair for me to say about them.
Fair enough.
That's like that's like saying I look like somebody and then they look at me and they're like, we don't look like each other.
All right. This got
I get
weird.
offended.
Whatever.
So what else? So what do you? I don't know, man. I don't know anything about you. So you have a child. She's here.
Actually, my daughter's here.
She's in the building.
She's here.
You
She drove me.
you motorcycled here, which seems weird.
All right. To be fair, I have a scooter.
Yeah.
But I'm going through a little bit of a man crisis, and I want to call it like a like a hog.
You didn't spend 40 grand.
No. It was like so cheap.
Okay.
They gave me the scooter. They were like, "Here, take this."
You need it.
It makes putt sounds like.
Yeah, Vespa.
It's like it's an Aprilia, I think. So it's the same family of Vespa. I bought it at a Vespa dealership, and it's
Nice.
fun. It's so fun to
It's
zip.
new.
It's brand new. It's so
No
much fun.
shit.
Yeah, it's like it's my first time owning one. I've like jetted around on other people's ones.
Is it possible that that you teach me how to drive this thing?
It's not. Do you know how to ride a bike?
Yeah.
Do you know how to give something gas?
Yeah.
That's literally all there is to it.
Yeah, I know, but I don't mean in theory. I mean actually, will you let me get on your bike and drive it?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
It's insured.
I've been trying to. It's insured. I've been trying to get my cousin to teach me how to drive a motorcycle for a long time, but he has like a 1200cc Harley.
Yeah. This is 150cc.
So I'm gonna so he's like worried I'm gonna dump it.
Yeah. Like those bikes are so heavy. Like,
Yeah.
Like the last thing you ever want to do or be is like the guy on the side of the road with his motorcycle on top of him. You know what I'm saying? Like at least with this Vespa, I could just get
Just
it
get
off
back
of
up.
me.
Nobody saw it.
Well, I could just get it off of me if anything. Like
Right.
whereas like I would need someone's help to get a 1200cc motorcycle off of me.
Maybe. Well,
There's no way I can get it.
You shimmy out and then you lose
No.
a good part of your leg.
No, I'm just if that ever happens, that's the way I want to die. I want to like just be under there, unless someone comes and rescues me, like a little old lady or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that could be your love at first sight. That could be your origin story.
Yeah,
With
perfect.
with a young lady, right? You're not with anybody at the moment.
Not with anyone at the moment.
Why is that?
'Cause look at my face. I only got so many years left of this face, and I need to maximize it. And,
Is this deliberate? People were trying to lock you down. You're swatting it away.
I mean, I don't know about swatting it away. I don't know, but yeah, I think that I was in a long relationship that went 5.5 years.
Yeah.
She was a great gal.
Yeah.
And then we broke up, and then I met another lady. Things kind of escalated a lot quicker than I had hoped.
Yeah.
And then I needed to be like, all right.
But isn't that? I don't know if you can speak directly to this, but isn't that kind of our lifestyle? As we meet somebody, we're so, at least for me, I'm so open and honest. I'm exactly who I am when I meet them. I'm not holding anything back, right? And so we get right into it. And then we'll be 2-3 weeks in, and then it feels like this big, crazy relationship. We haven't talked about what it means.
Yeah, I think with us, and one of the things that like I've had this we're like, we're doing what we do. That means that there's we're already bringing something to the table that the opposite sex likes, which is humor.
Sure.
And confidence.
Yeah.
And we have all of that in spades.
Yeah.
And then we bring that to the relationship, and we're being open, we're being honest. And then all of a sudden, a month goes by, and it's like, oh shit, we spent 6 days in a row together.
Yeah, right.
This is nice, but like now
It's all this manic stuff.
yeah, it goes too quick, and then because that's kind of the way we roll anyway, and yeah, that kind of happened, and then I didn't kind of get the reins on it.
Yeah.
And I also kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Because it's nice.
Yeah.
But then you wake up and you're like, all right, this is.
Well, once you have to have like the discussion, then it becomes difficult because you're trying to have a discussion on a thing that
the easy
should be further along because of you've checked all the boxes.
Yeah.
But the amount of time isn't enough. So then now you're like, I don't know. I've known you, for an accumulation of 3 weeks. How can I be like, yeah,
I think
we
for
should
me,
be together?
I move a lot
permanently?
slower than that, so it was like.
Oh, you do always.
Not always. No, like I'm quick to jump into something, but like, yeah, I'm ready to have that conversation at like 7 months.
Yeah,
And
right.
she's like, hey,
Right.
Like the way that it would start would be like, for the longest time, I would introduce her to friends. It's like, hi, this is my friend,
Yeah.
so and so. And she's like, all right, you need to drop the friend part.
Yeah.
Just say this is me. This
Yeah.
is my name. And I
Right.
was like, no, but you're my friend.
Beverly.
And,
Yeah.
But how'd you know her name? She is here, isn't she?
That'd be funny. That would be funny if that's a weird name to choose.
Beverly's a pretty.
Have you met a Beverly?
I mean, who knows a Beverly?
I've never met a
never
Beverly.
met a
My
Beverly.
grandma, I bet, knows a Beverly.
Yeah, of course. Your grandma's middle name is Beverly.
My grandma's name is Blanche. I would have gone with that.
Blanche Beverly is a weird name.
Blanche Beverly is a very strange name.
All right.
So my thought process is, so I think when I do this fast relationship, it's still, the funny thing is it's still, you still hit all the marks, right? But you just do them faster. So I'll do the whole life of a relationship, from all the way to absolute intimacy, all the way down to fights and breaking up, but it all happens over the course of like a month.
That's intense.
And it's happened in my life a ton.
Huh?
Because it's hard. It is. It's
Well, I
hard.
also
It's hard because you gravitate towards the thing. It's good. You're like, you're not thinking about it.
Sure.
Now you spend all this time together, which has a value and has a meaning. I think that's the problem.
I also think
Try to add a value.
in knowing you the little bit that I do, I think you and I are similar. I've had this conversation with friends where they're like, "Why don't you just hook up with like random people?" And it's like,
I can't do it.
I don't want that.
I can't do it.
I need a little bit more of a connection.
Yeah.
And then when you
If I fuck somebody, I want to see him again.
yeah, but also
I'm fucking you for the future fucks.
But if you get to that point, like I don't want to just do it to do it. I want to do it because there is a connection.
Yeah,
you know what I
there's
mean?
no point in me fucking somebody if I don't think I'm ever gonna fuck them again.
Yeah,
For
I
me,
agree.
that's
Sure.
how it is. Like, so a lot
Solid.
of comedians gravitate towards performers. I'm not gonna throw every comedian on earth under the bus, but we have the ability to do a show, do well, and then have people in the room dote. Can I use that word? I'm just using all 50s language now. Dote over you.
It's a first date. The show.
Right. Well, because they get all the information they need
Yeah.
from you. They already decided that they have this intimacy with you and that you have this vulnerability, but you're not a part of that.
No.
And then what happens is, then you have this situation, but a
you
lot of times they know you're leaving, and so they'll submit to it.
It happens, and it's
Right.
I always tell people this. It's we're sharing. We're accumulating stories. You get your story out of it. I get my story out of it.
I guess, but for me, I think it's not an equal playing field. I don't think it's fair, and for me, it's not worth. The only situation where I'm hooking up with somebody who's in the audience is we spend like the entire night together, and there's an anticipation that
All right.
if I see, like, when I come back to the town, we're still hanging out.
So you like that connection. You need it that deep when you're traveling. Is what I thought we switched it to something else.
No. We were still on the same point. Yeah.
No. I get what you're saying about the traveling thing, and I totally can see that.
Yeah. Well, so and then that's what it becomes. So I'm able to basically, I'm in a town for a week. And then so sometimes you do the whole relationship over the course of the week. And then you got to figure out what you mean to each other when you leave and how to keep that going and what that is.
Fair enough. No. That's where it gets a little difficult, because then now you're in one stage, she's in another, which also adds a little bit of the romance and
I like
intrigue.
it. Here's what's great about it. When you're far away from somebody, the next time you see them, that shit is quality time.
Yeah, and there's been a build-up.
If you lived down the street from me and we spent all that time together because we're both weak people and we want to see each other and there's something great about it, right? There's something wrong with that notion, because then now that time is quantitative, not qualitative, because you're just hanging out. You're watching garbage. You're just like watching Netflix.
Yeah, and I see what you're saying. You like the build-up, and you like the work, and you like building the anticipation. I can relate to all of that.
Well, I'm going to be gone a lot of days, so I've figured out how to make it
work.
Make sense, yeah.
All right, so
even if they're here.
So you like to get into a town and have a girlfriend there already. You got a little.
Not necessarily. It's not like I go to every town and have a girlfriend in every town. But if I'm seeing somebody and they're special to me, I'm gonna go back to that.
So
place. If you look at my calendar and I play the same club 5 times in a year, there's somebody there. Yeah,
right, I can dig that.
So that's kind of what it is. Well, I thought you were saying the same thing. I thought you were saying you don't wanna hook up with the audience.
But sometimes, there's Chris Rock said it best. You're only as faithful or as your options. And I think when you're single, I think that frame of mind applies to the audience. Sometimes you do a show. My instinct is to kind of separate the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, there have been times where someone who's, wait a second, this person isn't supposed to really like me.
Well, here's what's hard, right?
And they do, and all right, I got to take advantage of
this.
There's
a reason why everybody has it. Whether we go to that stupid commercial, everybody has their thing. Everybody has their way that they get girls, and for us, it's comedy. It's whether it's on stage or off stage. That's what it is. So the problem is, you go, I'm gonna get this girl by being funny and charismatic anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I just did it on stage. So what's the conflict of interest, right?
Yeah, that's a good. I think some people don't. I don't want to mix business with pleasure.
Right.
I don't know if the people go back to that club all the time.
Right.
I don't know who they may or may not know.
Sure.
I also like when you're in that position, you're in a position of power.
Yeah.
You know, so like, you know, it's fun to be able to be like, nah, too powerful for you.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna need to keep you at
Oh,
bay.
you
I do.
actively like turning it down.
Yeah, not necessarily actively turning it down, but it's like it's the unintended consequence of doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that felt good to do.
Yeah.
You know, and then but then when the other situation presents itself, it's also fun.
Yeah.
It's like whatever. I'm sure there's some level of bipolar to the whole situation.
No,
but
it just sounds like you don't. You don't want to take a stance on it because basically, if she's hot enough, you'll break all of the rules.
I mean, that's with anything,
Right?
Like I have
Like I don't fuck the audience. Oh, were you in the audience? Yeah, I'll fuck the audience.
yeah, exactly. That's with just being alive.
That's,
You know, it's like
well, I'm with you on the level that I don't think anything is that serious that we should take a global and deliberate and across the board stance on it.
yeah, you got to be open to anything and everything.
But everything right now is about taking a stance on everything.
You know, it was interesting at the beginning of this conversation. My 13-year-old daughter was listening and
Yep.
watching intently.
Yep.
And
Now
then
she's gone.
Now she's laid down.
She ducked under. Yeah.
She's like behind the. No, she
That's
just
why I
laid
asked you. I said, "Are we allowed? Are we
No,
allowed
it's
to
cool.
talk
She's
about
a
this?"
big girl. She's heard it all.
I firmly believe, because this is the way that my little brother was raised. He's 9 years younger than me, and it was a bunch of adults in the house because there was.
She's 9 years younger than me. How crazy is that?
So there was 3 kids in a 4-year period.
Okay.
And then we laid off, and then there was my brother. So everybody's already grown up by the time he's running around, and so we never talked down to him. We never talked baby talk to him.
He was
we
an
just
equal.
spoke to him like an adult.
Sure.
And he was so much more of an adult than me at so much of an early age.
She is more there. You know, I'm obviously her parent, and I'm guiding her through the world. But there's a level of maturity to her that I don't have.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a level of like, all right, Dad, you need to calm down.
Right.
Like, like I'm constantly trying. See, look, she's agreeing. I'm constantly trying to make her laugh and entertain her.
Yeah.
She's got a great sense
And
of
she's
humor.
like, just be my dad?
Dad, I think she's aware of the dad. I think there's like a level of just like even with my friends. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, reel it in, pal.
Yeah. Wait, now, we didn't mention, right? So you said she's 14?
She's 13.
Just for the listeners.
Yeah,
I
she's
don't know if we
13.
mentioned it.
She's a great kid.
Let me ask you this, because this is the thing I'm grappling with in my own life, is my father and I are not friends.
Okay.
We're not enemies, but he's my father, and he's like having a hard time trying to figure out whether or not to come out of that role. Right? Like, I would just like him to be my friend at this point. There's all of the dad stuff that he could do it's done.
Yeah,
like,
he's
it's over.
He's done his job.
I'm 34 years old. I just want to be friends with him, and I'm friends with my grandfather. I think I'm friends with my mom, but once you get to a certain point, and so I'm trying to figure out in your life where you're at, whether or not now is the time when you can just be friends with your daughter. And you don't have to be her dad anymore.
I would say that for her and I, we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the things that was important. I want to enjoy her company. I'm around her, enough that I want to make sure that when we're around each other, we're having a good time, and it's not like boring to be around her.
Right.
So like that's kind of the way that I approached it. I don't really have a relationship with my dad.
Yeah.
He wasn't a good dad, and we're certainly not friends. But like that does appeal to me. I wish I had a dad friend, and,
right?
Someone who I'd be like, hey, this is my dad. Look how cool he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, actually.
Like I'm gonna turn into that one day. You know, and like with my dad, it's more like, all right, like out of sight, just get out of here, and I'll do my thing. And then, I think her and I actually may have had a conversation today, like when she was kind of giving me a little bit of shit about some silly shit I was doing around the house. I was like, you're gonna like this when I get older.
Right.
You're gonna think that you have a cool dad. So.
Yeah. How long are you gonna be cool?
I don't know, man. Like I think that's the thing. I think if you're still trying to be cool, it's no longer cool. So like at one point you have to stop trying to be cool.
So.
And then
here's all I learned
you're
from
cool
that.
again.
Here's all I learned from that is that you actually are cool.
Thank you.
Because I'm just trying to be cool, and I don't think that trying to be cool is not cool.
I'm still trying to be cool, like there's.
But the fact that you know that if you're trying to be cool is on cool, makes me know that you at least know that you were at one point
I think at
cool.
a certain point, there comes there's a point in someone's life where it's like, all right, there's this. You got to stop trying to be cool.
I think the fact that we've said cool 115 times in the last minute and a half is very uncool.
Very uncool.
Yeah, it makes us not really know. It is interesting. Well,
She said that. Yeah, we're
We're kind of not cool.
Yeah.
No, we're kind of in there.
Yeah,
All
she
right,
said
we're
we're
cool.
still kind of cool.
We're still kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. We're in a cool profession but that also makes us think that we can be timeless for a long. Like nobody's really like at this stage. Everybody's just kind of wearing the same outfit in comedy. Whether you're
we both have navy blue shirts.
Yeah.
On. Mine is a
Whether
lot nicer than yours, but
whether. I would disagree. But whether you're 20 or 50 right now, everybody's got the same outfit. It's like it's kind of interesting. We're all just wearing sneakers and jeans and whatever.
Yeah. I think for me, I actually don't feel comedy is timeless. Like I feel like there's a clock ticking above me. Yeah, and it's really
because you know that you got to make it soon.
Well, I don't know. Make it is like so subjective. Like I have a different interpretation of making it.
We all do.
Yeah, and so like for me though, it's like. This is the thing that's fascinating to me about comedians. Like most comedians that you meet are smart. We're like smart guys.
Yeah.
And like, it's always interesting. Like, oh, this guy was a lawyer and this guy was like fucking a judge or this guy was something else. Something smart. And then we give that up to do this. Yeah. Which is stupid.
It's stupid. And it also speaks to how intoxicating this is.
So that, and then also what you value as a human, right?
Yeah.
And then you do this and you're just using up all these prime earning years, like which is the rational thing to do. It's like, and then that's more like what I'm thinking of. Like I got a kid who's going to college pretty soon, and it's like, I would love to just keep grinding and doing this. I get enough work, I'm happy, things are good. But then there's gonna come a point where it's like, all right, I'm gonna need to like triple this, and that's the thing where it's like, am I gonna do it with the comedy, or am I gonna have to, figure?
So I'm hanging out with this girl who's wildly. Comes from a different financial background than me.
Fuck those people.
No, it's fine. She's gonna listen. She's gonna listen to this. So
unless you're super rich, like she's dirt poor.
No, I'm not rich.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So
because of your T-shirt.
So what was I gonna say? So she was like, she's breaking my balls, but she's basically saying like I need to quit and become an accountant and make money soon, like quick. And then my response, which is coming from a very real place, what I've done in my life up to this point, the next way for me to make the most money is I have to make it in comedy. Like there's no, I can't start over on some new thing.
This is so now
I'm not gonna turn around and become the 6-figure accountant, the 6-figure advertising guy. All the things I went to college for.
Also, there's more value.
I got to double down.
And doubling down, there's more value for you in terms of not just quantitative, but just like your happiness.
Yeah,
you're not gonna be happy being an accountant. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure not.
And you're not gonna be happy. Quite frankly, she's listening to this. You're not going to be happily settling down.
I'm not going to be happy.
And so you are going to be happy in the minutes that you're thinking about doing this and setting up a show.
Okay, not to cut you off, but that is inherently the problem with comedy, right? And that's why I think a lot of us end up not us specifically, but end up on drugs and alcohol and all these things. Is that the thing that we do that we love is so incredible, and then the rest of the day is just
it's the worst.
Nothing. It's just nothing.
Unless you're spending your time with a lady, you've just become a girlfriend who became your girlfriend in some Ames, Iowa or something.
Right.
Like that. And she's showing you around, and she's so excited. And
have you been to Ames, Iowa?
I haven't been to Ames, Iowa.
I've never heard of Ames, Iowa. I wasn't sure. It seems like it's a real place.
I've used that place specifically because I haven't been there yet.
Okay. The most incredible and hopeful thing I heard was when Comedians Cars Getting Coffee was Jerry Seinfeld interviews Trevor Noah before he takes over the job of the Daily Show, and he was he had him run through his day, and it sounded weird, which is why I had to run it back, and which is why I think somebody in Pace magazine wrote it up and wrote it wrong. But basically,
waking up at 1 in the
he wakes up at 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Takes a shower, goes immediately on stage at 7 p.m. He got an apartment across the street from his one-man show. So he'd wake up at 6, get on stage at 7 p.m., do the show till 9, then he'll go down, do spots all night all over comedy clubs, ends up at the Cellar at the end of the night, does spots there, hangs out with comedians till like 5 in the morning, goes home at like 5 or 6, goes grocery shopping, reads the paper, eats breakfast, and then goes to bed at like 11 a.m.
So really, it's dinner when he's eating breakfast.
Yeah, whatever it is, yeah.
That's bizarre.
That's bizarre, and it would be hard to make it happen, but how incredible would your life be if the first 12 hours of the day were the comedy thing? And then you have an ample amount of time to wind down.
I don't know. I like to think that like winding my day down at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, waking up at 11, being a normal human, not having to invest in like blackout curtains, and being a vampire and being able to text people like and they're up doing normal shit.
No, I think no,
Like
because
the whole notion of like him at 7 o'clock in the morning, like, hey, what are you doing? It's like, yeah, I'm waking up to go to work.
yeah, well,
I'm in a rush.
that's why I think that's why I think it still worked because I think prime text hours are like 6 p.m. to probably 10 p.m. for most people.
Yeah. All
So
right,
he
fair
can just
enough.
wake up and do it. I don't know. It's not practical for my life. I'd love it to be
Well, the whole notion of the one-man show thing to start your day is like,
incredible.
oh, that would be wonderful.
That would be incredible, yeah.
I would do that. I would sign up for that. That would, if that could be the show.
Yeah.
Just wake up at 6, go to the one-man show. Perfect. I wonder if
Yeah.
he does that now with the Daily Show, where
I
they
don't-
start at 4.
No, because he can't. Because he's got to be in the office.
He's got to. But he's,
John. I mean, I don't know what his grind is. I know Jon Stewart was in there every morning at 8.
Yeah.
Is what they at
8
least
in
what,
the
at least what
morning?
they said. Yeah, 8 or
And
9. He was in there
would
every day.
leave after the show was done. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. He was in
All
there
right.
every day doing that 9 to 5.
All right, fair enough.
You know.
You have a rental car? What's with the tag on your car? Keith?
Yeah, somebody asked me that. So they, so I bought a. It's not a new car. It's new to me.
Okay.
I don't necessarily believe in new cars, mostly because I'm not in that tax bracket, but also because I think that you lose a lot of value as you drive up the lot. So I got myself a car that is new to me, and the key is one key. My old key was a key and a little doohickey on it.
Yeah. That's
I'm convinced that if I take this thing off,
No, you're good.
I'll lose it.
That's
where
what
I'm
you're
at.
saying. All right,
So that's
fair
why I
enough.
left it on here.
All right, fair enough.
But this says, "Hey, go steal my car."
It
probably.
does say, "Hey, go steal my rental car." Actually, is what it says. It's not a big deal.
Although actually, if it says if it makes it seem like it's a rental car, then it actually is like I shouldn't steal that because they're gonna find it. Like
I
they're gonna
disagree.
track
I
it
think
down
people steal rental cars
all the
more-
time?
more than they steal the other stuff. I don't know.
because they can justify.
What do I know?
I don't think you know much.
I don't know that
That's
much.
that's all we've discovered in 32
Yeah.
minutes.
We've been doing this for 32
26
minutes.
26
Holy
minutes.
smokes. What,
Everyone, you, me, and everyone listening just looked at the thing and said, "It's been 32 minutes." Jesus. Some of the people are being like,
you
"This
think
is
they
the
said
longest 32 minutes of life."
Is
And
this
some
being
people,
live streamed?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
definitely
Oh,
not.
okay.
And
That'd
then
be-
no, but it's live to them
Fair-
when they're
they
watching
hear
it.
it. When they
yeah.
hear it later. All right, cool.
And now we're talking about them like in the never-ending story.
Well,
That's
it's like
we're like Atreyu.
that's a great movie. we just broke the fourth wall of podcasting. It's popular now.
Yeah. So I mean, it's never been unpopular. I mean, we learned about it from probably Woody Allen, which was
Sure.
things that happened before we were alive. How old are you?
I'm old. I'm gonna be 39 in a couple of weeks.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not older than you. You're an old
Yeah,
piece
yeah.
of shit.
No, I'm getting old.
39.
Yeah, I'm
So
doing
yeah,
it.
so back to the original thing where it's a timeless
Yeah, well,
outfit and
yeah. This outfit, this is what we're doing. Blue. I just got this shit.
just comedy is timeless. What were you doing before comedy? What was your
I had
supposed to be your
a,
goal?
Oh man, I had a small dog walking business in New York.
No, you did not.
I actually still do.
No shit.
I've had it. I was one of the first dog walkers in the city, like legit. I've been doing
No
it
shit.
for this January will be my 19th year.
Doing dog walking. How much money can you make dog walking? 50
I mean,
grand?
you can make way more than that.
Really?
Yeah,
As
sure.
as one human.
As one human doing it, you can make a pretty decent living.
No shit.
So that's all
you
I
make 100 grand walking dogs?
There's been some years where you do that well. Yeah, sure.
Wow.
And there was at one point for like a nice little stretch, I had a couple of people working for me, and
Yeah.
that was pretty profitable. And like,
That actually is a perfect job for a comedian.
I mean, a lot of people do it now, and like when I first got started in comedy, I didn't quite, my life was amazing. I only worked from 1 to 4 o'clock every
Yeah.
day, and then when
Because you can walk, because there's no bounds to how many dogs you can
Yeah,
walk.
I would be-
as
I was-
many dogs as you can get on the clock. You can
sure.
walk.
So I was definitely one of those pack walker guys, and then when I started doing comedy, I took it for granted, like just was this is my life anyway, whatever. And then I was like, you would see people just like burnt out, at the mics in the beginning, and then the shows at 11 o'clock at night.
So
and
you didn't maintain the dog walking business? What do
no,
you
I
mean?
still do. I still have it.
No, I mean, what do you mean that you were?
In terms of like not having to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to a job.
Yeah.
I didn't have to wake up till 11 o'clock
Yeah.
to go do dog walking.
You figured out comedy.
Well, I figured it out before I even started comedy.
Yeah.
I think that's what actually drove me to comedy, was that I had a monotonous job, I had a creative brain,
And it wasn't going to stop you.
and it wasn't, I think having the monotonous job is what drove me to do something creative, and then finding stand up was just perfect.
That's funny.
You know?
I didn't know that about you. Oh, and it's interesting because this show and a lot of the things that I do with this tour, the Comedy's Best Kept Secret Tour, gives money to the Liberty Humane Society, which is the Humane Society here in Jersey. They've grown a lot over the years.
Yeah.
I like to think because of my contribution. I don't know. I know that they've done a lot and they've grown since I've been involved with them because it's going on 6 or 7 years.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
And we'll do the tour to Alaska. We did the tour to Alaska and then we raised money for them. But I think seeing you on stage, the first time I saw you on stage was your Access Gotham, at least that I remember. Obviously, I probably saw you at the
I went out
Guerrero
before
show.
you and I left because I bombed at that bar.
At the
show.
Guerrero's one?
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious. And I think one of the jokes that I connected the most with was I think you had a handle on a dog joke that was an angle that I had never heard before.
I don't have any dog jokes.
You have any dog jokes?
Not a single one.
Did that whole thing for nothing?
Yeah, it was good though.
You don't have a dog joke? I do remember.
No, I do have a couple of dog jokes.
Did you do it in the special?
No.
You didn't do it at the Gotham?
I may have done it somewhere else.
I definitely have seen that joke, but all I remember was that that's I just remember being like, oh, that's crazy. I don't know why I didn't. Everybody loves dogs. I never had dogs, and then now that I have a dog, I sometimes I think it's like a singular experience, the stuff that I do with my dog, whereas I think it's shared. I think everybody has similar experiences.
I think specifically it is a singular experience, but we've all kind of experienced it. You know
and
what I mean?
we all, and I think we learn a lot about ourselves.
Listen,
through having animals.
I would say I'm pretty lucky as an adult. I think I'm involved in two of the things that force you to be the most self-aware. And that's working with dogs or being a dog owner.
And being a parent?
And being a comedian.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with parent. That's the next one.
Being a parent, you just kind of...
Sometimes I think I might just get someone pregnant names Iowa so I can write some fun jokes about being a dad.
Sure. I mean, it's a lot. Most of my stuff is about being a dad and being her dad specifically. She's a hoot.
I don't think a comedian is an identifier. I think we in our heart are comedians, but I think being a dog person and being a parent are the
This
two
is actually
things.
one of the things. This is a conversation I've had, and I don't know if it's a crutch. Maybe it is. But I said I'm not willing to go all in on a comedian because I enjoy being a dad, and I enjoy being a partner, and I enjoy being a friend, a person, a normal person. As maybe not as much as I enjoy being a comedian, but I don't enjoy comedy enough to forsake all of that. And I think that there's this notion that you kind of have to push everything to the side, make comedy 100%.
But that's everything.
But then that's
every guy and girl who is the most successful at the top of their game is horrible at personal relationships.
Sure.
Because they have to be selfish.
Yeah, but I think though. So what are we doing then? If we're not, why are we doing this if we're not giving it the 100%?
Why are we doing what?
Like why? So you're doing the comedy.
Well, what's 100%? It's all garbage, right? This idea of give 110%. That's all garbage talk because you're giving it everything that you're capable of, right?
Fair enough.
And you're not capable of any more than what you're doing.
Well, I think that's where...
neither am I.
That's where the argument comes in, though, because you could say we are if we push this other stuff to the side. Like, if I push her to the side...
You got to have values, or otherwise what are you going to talk about in comedy?
Sure, I think that's another part of it is, like, living a life to have something to talk about on stage. But I also think that, like, there's a notion of it being a crutch. Like, if we don't make it, we can say at the end of the day, but I wasn't giving it 100% anyway. That's one of the things that I'm scared of. Look at me getting vulnerable.
Well, we're never going to make it.
Fair enough. We're here, right?
We're not going to make it.
We're here. We've made it. What are you talking about?
We're not going to make it. So at the end of the day...
What's making it for you?
At the end of the day, what's the rest of your life going to be?
I mean, we get this little... I think of comedy for me as like a nice, fun time capsule and the beautiful people that I've met. And to me, that's making it.
So what's going to happen to you? So for me, Megan, right now I feel really good. Like right now, and I was going to say this before, we were talking about happiness, and you said, am I ever going to be happy? Because we were fucking around, you know, but I'm having conversations now with people where they're like, how are you? How was your day? And I go, it was fantastic. Because it was.
I use that adjective often.
And then people are like, why was it so fantastic? And I don't, because my life is great. Like, it's just good. Like, I'm just in a really happy place. And I can't, the things that happened to me today, maybe you wouldn't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
But it's perfect. And it speaks volumes to the fact that these people are, something would have had to happen that's crazy in their lives for them to even feel fantastic, which I think is a problem.
I have this question often that I ask. It's a good question you can use it when you're flirting with a lady. It seems like you got all the questions. But I like to ask them what their favorite day of the week is.
Interesting. What's your answer?
My answer is Monday.
Why?
I love a Monday. Like, think about what we do. Like, so we travel. We usually are coming home, and we're back home on Monday. And then that's when you start to work. You send your emails out.
Yep.
You maybe
Monday I drive home, park the car in the spot that I know is going to be available on Monday.
It's like
I take a nice nap.
It's the fresh start to like the week, And then for me and for us, like
it's lack of stress.
We're back home.
Yeah.
We're back in our house.
Yeah.
But more often than that, it's the day where I feel like, I'm excited to get back to work because our job isn't done when we come back from a weekend. We need to the work isn't.
Oh, our job's never done.
Our job isn't being on stage.
Our job is never done.
Our job is.
That's the problem with I'm leaving for 35 days.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Holy smoke.
And there's so many things that aren't done, and maybe it's just never enough.
Yeah, it's never enough.
Even if I sold out every seat in every room in every place, there's still 25 other things I'd want to do to maximize that experience. Whether it means making a fucking T-shirt,
sure,
or finding another thing.
Well, it's the whole notion of if you would have told me last year that my calendar was gonna look like what it did this year, I would have been ecstatic. I would have been over the moon. And then now this year, looking at my calendar, I was like, I need more. Like if it's like this next year, that doesn't work. And so that's the beauty of that's where ambition comes in. But
so then on that, so you don't think...
That's what I do on Monday. That's why
so
Monday's
you're
my favorite.
convinced that you're not putting 100% into this. So what would you say you're putting into this?
I would say I'm putting 100% of what I want to put into it.
No, that's a cop-out because that's where I put you 1 minute ago.
I like numbers. I like rating. That girl's a 7. I like doing that move.
Yeah.
So I can give it a number. It vacillates. It goes, when I'm I'm struggling a little bit with actual work and doing work and getting and being and just finding some creativity.
Yeah.
So I think when you're in a place like that, you struggle to work. So right now it feels really low to me. Right now I feel like I'm at 25-30%.
Really?
But that works for me because I also feel like I needed a little bit of a recharge.
Yeah.
And
well, how long do you feel unproductive?
Oh, never for more than just a day or two.
Yeah.
And then what happens is that I think our peers and our contemporaries, end up fueling us when you get on the phone with someone and they're doing pretty great. You're like, oh fuck, I gotta. We're insecure people.
That's kind of why I went. That's why I hit up Andrew Schultz yesterday because he's a guy who I think we have a very similar mind, and he's like I said, he's just doing comedy at a much higher level than me.
He's so funny,
and he's so good, and he's so brilliant at bringing in a concept, sneaking away from it for a little bit, and putting it into more human terms, and then bringing it right back in, and putting it right back in where you didn't think it was gonna go, and it fits perfect, and the drastic nature between the two things makes it so funny. And so I saw him and Drew Michael and Joe List go up at a packed out show at the Cellar last night because I'm going out tomorrow night and I have 10 jokes that I want to work on, and my tendency is try them the first night. They don't get anything because I don't know who they are yet, and I'm feeling around. And then by night 5, I'm like I'm not doing any of those jokes.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I just did a nice week-long run, and I had 4 new stuff I wanted to do. One of it hit, and then by the end of the week, I wasn't even doing the one anymore.
Right.
And it was the week more was about me. I'm gonna take this week to get better. Yeah. And then you get competitive, and you're like,
right. And you just want to crush. You just want to crush all times.
That's I think I'm in that little frame of mind because I'm not putting in the work that I normally put in, and because of a lot of other things going on too. So yeah, but that's a nice little.
But there's always shit we could be doing. So then back to the numbers thing. You said I don't know.
Right now it feels low, 20%. When that's at its peak and everything's cooking, I like to think that I'm doing 50% comedy and then everything else is splitting up to 50%.
Oh, I was going to take it to the numbers to rating women.
That's my favorite thing in the world to do.
So then the question is, do you readjust the scale when you leave town? And the other question is,
women or comedy?
No, for women.
Oh,
so like a 10 here is in New York City is like alien level hot, and then you go to Ames, Iowa. Yeah. Do you judge on a curve? Do you find the hottest girl, and even if she's a 6, now she's a 10?
I don't even know if I need to find the hottest girl. It's just everything. We're all observant people, I think, when you're a comedian. You have to be.
Yeah.
And so even if you're not looking, you're going to see stuff, you know what I mean? And it's instinctual. should just give a value system in your own head.
Yeah.
I'm not
okay,
writing.
So then the
yes, there's definitely
the actual
a curve.
question.
There's a curve.
The actual question is, what's the lowest you'll go down the scale? That's the actual.
All right,
question.
this is something I'm very proud of. This is on my. I don't know. I guess it's not on my resume, which I think is what I'm most proud of.
Isn't this fucked up? That's kind of what we want our resume to be.
Yeah, this is.
We
So,
kind of just want our resume to be a picture of all the women we've slept
so
with.
that would be. That'd be yeah, whatever. Yes, I've never done the jump on the grenade thing for friends.
Yeah.
Not because I'm not a good friend, but just simply like I'll just entertain like verbally,
Yeah.
you know, and like
Yeah.
we'll do that. But that's never really.
You
come
don't
up
have
for
to fuck the grenade.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. But I would never.
Get to the point. You're
And
trying to
then-
make. You're trying to
then
spin this to be a
There's
positive
there's a
thing.
number in my head.
Yeah.
Not physically, but just overall as a human. Obviously, physical goes into that. I've never taken one just to take one. You know what I mean? Like just for the sake of like, I gotta do it, and it's just never been
Okay,
a
but
situation.
you're in Ames, Iowa. You're lonely.
Honestly, I don't get lonely.
Your
I'm
dick and balls are okay. Your dick and balls are talking to you.
I don't do that. That doesn't happen to me. I don't know if it's a
So what happens? So what's the circumstance in which you sleep with somebody?
I've got to be attracted to them. I'm very comfortable going home alone.
Yeah.
And just having a night to myself. I think I travel with my dog. Maybe that helps.
Yeah.
Maybe being,
It really does.
Maybe being in 2 super long relationships before I've been single has helped. But like the whole notion of just going home with someone just because you're horny, like doesn't really appeal to me.
I'm right there with you.
I want to have a connection.
But you haven't answered the question. Well, what's the lowest number you bang?
9. No, probably like a 6 or 7.
Okay.
Like a solid, strong. There've been no regrets. How about that?
We're very similar. We're very similar people.
There have been no regrets.
We really are very similar people. My dog is actually I was using my dog as an excuse to basically my take on life, especially as because we do this late night thing. You can always get a show. You can get a show till about 2 a.m. You can get on stage until about 1:45 a.m.
Yeah, you can
in New York City. That's kind of the cutoff. So then everything after that, my take was always I got to be on that. There's a 159 path train home. I got to be on that 159. I'm either on the 124 or the 159 because if you're anything you're chasing after 2, anything you haven't done by 2 a.m. you're chasing.
It's just trouble.
Yeah, you don't need it. You should have accomplished it by 2 a.m. If you didn't, you're chasing something you're not going to get.
I think you and I have the same philosophy, but with just a different model for it.
And I would make up the excuse in the situation where like that. I'll just be like, listen, I got to get home from my dog.
So the dog is perfect to get home to, but also I do that same thing but with alcohol.
Yeah.
And I drive everywhere, and I say I don't really like to drink.
I don't drink. Yeah.
So I say, I got the car. And then when it gets to that hour, and it's like, I just want to get home to the dog. You know what I mean? I like your thing with the 159. It's like a definitive number.
Yeah, because that's the train. So Hoboken, I
dig that.
They have that train, and that's the one. 124. I'd rather be on the 124 every night. I'd rather be on the 124.
And maybe it comes with age and being older, and like, I've had enough. There's always more.
Yeah.
But like, it's the whole notion of like, not to get silly or deep or philosophical, but like I don't want that whole thing of like waking up in the morning trying to sneak out of a place because
I've
oh
never
my
done
god, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
So like if I'm going home with someone, I'm gonna actually want to spend the next day with
the
them.
whole day. Right.
Yeah, like hey, we're here. Let's just get breakfast.
Like
that, and that's the type of connection I want to have. Because
Yeah.
This is precious. Look at this. This is a full package. I don't know why I shifted my body.
That was you. That was you. That was you motioning yourself.
That was me showing off my stuff
the whole
to the
package.
legs. So like, it's just the whole notion of.
Well, it's valuing yourself. That's really what it comes down to.
But also, it's like I don't need to chase it. I don't need it that bad.
Right.
It's not that.
That's all the same thing. That's all. That's valuing yourself.
Yeah, it's just it is what it is.
You can let him in. We can let him in. Just tell him it's a live taping. Sorry, just let him in. So
live.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, it is live. It's a live taping.
We broke the fourth wall again.
Well, no. Now we're breaking to talk to Adam. I don't know why.
What's up, Adam? Great. How you doing?
So it's weird. Okay. So now we're breaking something that probably doesn't make people on the podcast enjoy because you're just talking to a person who's not on mic, not on camera, who has nobody has any idea who that is.
That was an imaginary person I was talking to.
Adam Gable.
Everyone.
Anyway, well, I guess on that notion, check out myself and Adam Gable on the Comedy's Best Kept Secret tour, August 10th through, for me, September 16th. He'll be on the tour until Labor Day.
That's awesome.
So that's huge. What do you got coming up? What do you want to plug?
I'm doing Philly Helium.
That's awesome.
One of my
I hear
favorite places.
great things about that club.
I love that place. It's one of my favorites. I'm doing that August 17th.
If you ever
19th.
want me specifically to go open for you.
I'm featuring for my buddy Drew Lynch.
Oh, no shit.
He's doing Conan tonight. I don't know when this airs, but
Oh, very cool.
you know, they won't be able to. They would have already
On the
seen
9th.
it.
Well,
Yeah, on the 9th.
it's on the internet. Everybody watches things later
Sure,
anyway. So
yeah,
check
so
out
he's,
Drew Lynch's Conan. Why are you plugging somebody else's shit again?
Because I'm a nice guy. Tomorrow's his birthday.
No one cares.
So say hello.
So what do you have going on? At the Kenny Garcia.
I am Kenny Garcia.
Oh, I am Kenny
I
Garcia.
am Kenny Garcia is all the
On
handles,
Twitter,
everything.
Instagram,
Twitter, Instagram,
Snapchat.
Snap. I don't
Are
do
you
the,
on-
I don't do the Snapchat. I got on a handful of times because people were like, "Hey, do the Snapchat." And
Yeah.
it was one of those
I get
situations.
it.
Here's the situation. This is perfect. I make a vow. Fuck Snapchat. I'm too old for Snapchat. I
Yeah,
don't
you're
need it.
39.
But then a hot chick is like, "Are you on Snapchat?" I'm like, "I am now."
I am now.
Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
I can tell you a story here
Tell me a story here.
that makes. This is how I got on Twitter. Made a vow. This is my daughter's here too, so it's gonna be rough. We're gonna have a conversation later, but I'm gonna go for it because it's a good story. All right.
She wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah,
Now
I know,
she is.
I just did it because maybe see psychologically I wanted her to hear it. So
Yeah.
that now she could tune it out.
Okay, and this
Yeah.
speaks to who comedians are. I think in a big way, and we're just back to the fact that your daughter's here. I used to do when I first started doing comedy. I was a little. I just find gross things funny. I find sexual things funny.
Sure.
It's just who I am.
What's not
So I've
funny about
always
those
been and crossing boundaries has always been what I think
Sure.
comedy's about for me. So I was doing some sexual stuff. We were still in college, and I had my mom come to my show, and people come to me after the show and be like, "I can't believe you said that in front of your mother," and I was like, "That's my mother.
Yeah, she's a grown up.
I'm the reason. Like the reason why I'm this way is because of her.
Well-
So she needs to know all of me."
Yeah, totally.
so-
but she also already knows if she's a good mom.
Sure. So then, all of that to say that your daughter needs to know who you really are.
I think my daughter has a.
You sick piece of shit.
Yeah,
Whatever. I
fair
don't know
enough.
what this story's gonna be.
It
could be great.
It can be a decent story. My mother's the same way. My mom. I love people who say, "Oh, I don't like when my mom comes." I love when my mom is at the show.
Absolutely.
My mom is hysterical.
What are you doing in your life if you don't if you don't want your mom to be proud of what you're proud of?
Certainly. Well, here's the
Just
story.
know who you are.
This is what you do for a hot chick. I'm in LA. Have no interest in Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm not active at all on social media stuff. If I didn't do comedy, I wouldn't be on Facebook. Probably I enjoy Instagram. All that to say, I'm eating breakfast with the dog, and I see a porno star, Remy LaCroix.
Okay.
Do you know her?
I know who that is. Yeah.
She's eating by herself. She's a big fan of the dog.
Yep.
The dog is a pit bull. He's got a service vest on.
You know this going in, or
No,
you see her.
I sit down to eat breakfast. I see her, and I'm like, oh, moly, that's
Yeah.
her. She's adorable. She's
Yeah.
just she's blowing a dude. I don't know. She's not. She was there by herself.
Okay. They're all adorable.
She's there.
They're
She's
all tiny.
super
They're all
adorable. So
adorable.
little, no
Yeah.
makeup on,
Yeah.
just enjoying breakfast. And I see her eyeing the dog. I say to her, hey, do you want to just come say hi to the dog? She comes over. She's saying hi to the dog. And that becomes, why don't you just sit down and we have breakfast together?
Yeah.
So now I'm having breakfast.
You haven't let her know that you know who she is.
We're having breakfast, and then I say, in the way that I can, I say, hey, listen, there's no way to say this other than to say,
I know who you are.
I know who you are, and I'm a fan. And she laughs.
How far into the
Probably like
breakfast?
just 15 minutes in. Like, we
Wow.
haven't even, we've ordered, but our food hasn't gotten here.
Yeah.
So now we're like on what I think is like a date. You know what I mean? Like, but we're not on a date. We're just two people who like dogs. We're just only talking dogs. Tell her I'm in town for comedy. And then she's like, we have a lovely hour,
Yeah.
10-minute breakfast
Yeah.
together. And then we're getting ready to leave, as normal people do. And I'm like, hey, do you want to get a drink while I'm out here? And she goes, yeah, that'd be fine. Hit me up on Twitter.
Oh shit.
I have no Twitter at
Yeah.
all. But I'm not going to be like, I don't have Twitter, which I should have been. I was just nervous.
Yeah.
I was like, I have
Yeah.
no shot, no
Yeah.
business here. And I got on Twitter. I slid into her DMs. No response. Can you say
She-
slid into her DMs when you're 39 years old?
We already decided that you can say whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Because
Slid
comedy's timeless, and we're not
I
cool.
slid into her DMs. It was lit, and no.
Well, that's the problem with that is I don't like half of that shit is filtered out.
What, the DMs?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. I
Yeah.
had no idea. Literally, I had.
She needs to follow you back.
I think the funniest thing about that to me was I found her, I sent her the message, and then if she saw it, it was like, this dude has no followers, and like he's not he's
That's
only
very funny.
following me.
I like that in every level. As a dude, our status is always being questioned.
Well, even
Right?
Yeah.
So like you're in town, you're in LA, you're playing a club, you're probably playing good shows. I know you're a good comedian. But then
then
the
no
way
followers.
the way that you hit her up
Yeah,
is gonna be a way that has
it's like
no
zero followers.
no love.
Yeah.
Dude, we kind of came full circle. I pitched the first 5 seconds of this as if we were on my other podcast, the Porn Stars of People podcast.
I have 7
and then we
followers now.
ended
With
with
a porn
you
star.
talking about trying to fuck a porn star.
I wasn't trying to have sex with her. I was trying to have sex with her. Totally. That's what I was doing. I envisioned a life of being like accepting of her profession while at the time, and like being the guy
It's
who was
romantic.
like, it was so like,
This is
look how
romantic.
stable I am. I was like, I was
Yeah.
already playing in my
This
head
is romantic.
that I could totally be her husband.
Yep.
And being cool and supportive of like her profession.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey babe, how was work?
Yeah.
And then she'd tell me, and then I'd be like, oh, awesome. And then she'd ask me, and then I'd like go off and do shows.
This is very romantic.
And we had all our dogs, and I was like, yeah. And then I'd be like a hero because other dudes were like, oh, I can't do that. I wouldn't be able to do that. And I'm like, oh, well, you're not me. You don't have the mental makeup that I have.
So do
to
you
handle
think you'd
that.
be able to date a porn star and
I could
be
date-
in an open relationship and have that not be a problem?
All right, so here's the thing. I think an open relationship is where I'm heading as a human being.
Damn it! That's where we should have started the
And I
podcast.
think-
That's all I've been talking
I
about
think-
for like 2 months.
I think I'm getting
6
to.
months.
I think I'm getting to the point.
I was in an open relationship in February, at the beginning of my tour.
Did you feel like you were in love with this lady though, and that you were cool with her being with other dudes? I
Here-
think the
here's
level.
the-
I think that you can hit a certain level of love or care where then, as a man, you become possessive.
I think that's everybody's argument, right? Is that if you really love this girl, you can't imagine her being with another dude. But my take on it is that love is not about a possession, right? Now, here's the problem, and here's the problem with you asking me that question. Was I had just met her and she was incredible, and we basically were like, I'm leaving. Is this thing? I was going for 60 days, and it was like. We either just give up this thing, try to like rekindle when I come back, or just keep it going now.
Why even say anything at all? Why not just leave and then be like, "Hey, come see me in 20 days here."
Well,
run around with me
because
for
we
a
were being
couple of
honest,
days.
we wanted to hang out with each other, and I think we both we'd actually talked about open relationships and how it was maybe something that we were interested in, and we were both trying it for the first time. So we set up the thing. Here's the problem that we ended up with, which was I was using the facilities of an open relationship at a high level.
Okay.
and this was starting to get under her skin because she didn't feel like she had those opportunities. And there was going to be, and everything's ebbs and flows, right? There was going to be opportunities in her life coming up soon for her to use them. They just weren't at the same time as I was using them. So then we together tried to invent a situation where she could use those facilities.
Those privileges.
I like facilities. I don't know
All
why.
right, yeah. Facility sounds like a place.
It sounds weird, but
Yeah.
I like
All
it.
right, fair enough. This is your
And
podcast.
so we used that. We made up a situation, and it wasn't great.
Yeah.
Like it was gonna be. It didn't bother me, but it bothered
you know,
her.
I think-
And then she wanted to call everything off.
I think you lost the organic nature of it by like
Yes.
setting something up.
Yes.
Whereas like in my head when I've like planned it, one of the things of like when you want everything to just feel organic.
Yeah.
And I think initially you got to that place where you kind of fell into it organically, but then because of what happens, emotion gets involved.
Yeah.
And then, then you got to plan something, which is what you have to do in a normal relationship anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it just all comes back to that. I'm struggling with the whole notion of I want to be in love with someone, and if I'm in love with someone, can I share them with someone else? And like that's the thing that where I always feel like, I don't know if I could handle that.
Well, so men and women are different people.
Yeah, we are. Totally.
We're wired very differently, right? And this is, and especially at this day and age, it's hard because everybody wants to say, well, we're all equal or all this, we're all that. And we're not.
We're not. No, it's
We're not
ridiculous.
equal. Women can do incredible things that we can't do. They can make creatures
And
inside
they can
their
grow
body. They can grow them.
They can grow them in there.
So we're different, and what happens is this is the thing I wanted to get to. I think, and it's kind of what I was asking you in a beat around the bush kind of way. But I think in any relationship I've ever been in, the people that I'm in the relationship with don't know what reasons and what conditions I have sex in. And I think that the way that we have sex and the people that we have sex with says a lot about who we are as people.
Sure.
And we pretend like it's not. We try to separate that part of ourselves, right? But so for me, I don't think anybody truly understands who I am unless they know that. And then, but you shut that off because you meet somebody in a relationship and you're like, all of the having sex stuff is whatever. But it says a lot about who the person that you're dating is based on what their past looks like and what conditions they've been in to have sex.
Sure.
And I don't know, and it's like, if you do take it to a jealousy perspective, I don't know.
I don't know that it's a jealousy
No,
thing,
but
too.
I'm saying, look at it from this point. So like, you don't know who the threats are. Like, let's just say you're in and you are a jealous person. But you're in a regular relationship. You don't know who the threats are because you don't know. Like, I don't know who my girl fucks when I wasn't around.
So do you want to know? Do you want that? Do you want it to be that open?
I think so. I think I do.
I think that's what I would want too.
I think I do because then I know. Because then I know whether or not I'm being justified. Because I'm like, there's no way she would fuck that guy, right? You know, like there's a little bit of that in there.
Is
right?
there a little bit of also a turn on knowing who else she may or may not be into besides you?
The problem, yes, on a level, but also I go the other way because it's like oh, who's your celebrity crush, and then they tell me, and then I'm like, he's not even better than me. Like, you know what I mean? Like if it's Robert Downey Jr., like I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean I would fuck Robert Downey Jr. I get it. But if it's like, I don't have a prime example of who it could be. You know what I mean?
All the celebrities just leaned into the podcast now. Like, who's he gonna say? You know,
if it's like, I was in an argument about I tweeted that Chris Pratt is finally hotter than Anna Faris because they're breaking up.
Yeah.
And that was my tweet, and that was starting to get a little bit of love and hate. And then somebody commented on it, and then and they were like, Chris Pratt was never not hot. And then I sent the picture of him when he was fat.
Yeah, he was a fat bastard.
and pale and whatever, and he
yeah, he's moved up a level from
Yeah.
Anna Faris
he's
in Hollywood.
He's way up a level.
He's so up
way
a
up a level.
He is a bankable movie star.
Right.
Anna Faris can't get
Right.
roles
Oh, and
anymore.
then it's all about levels. So then somebody said something about Jennifer Lawrence, and I was like, well, he's not Jennifer. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence is a fucking Oscar award-winning,
she's
a double
above,
Oscar.
She's leveled above.
She's
him.
way above
Yeah,
him.
she's so.
So yeah, he's not on that level. I mean, what level he's at? He could probably.
He's at like Scarlett Johansson level.
Yeah, he could fuck J-Lo maybe.
Well, nah, A-Rod's in there. No, I think J-Lo's a level above him just from tenure. You know,
yeah,
like she's
maybe.
been doing it a long time.
But she's a depreciating property because she's
I
getting
disagree.
old. I mean, she looks incredible.
She looks incredible.
I want
her to be Azalea's stepmom.
Yeah, I would do anything. I would do anything in if there is a selling your soul to the devil, I would do that probably for J-Lo.
All right, I've had this question. You're a perfect person to ask
Okay.
this. I've been pretty fortunate. I've never had to pay directly cash to a person to be with them sexually.
Oh, I won't pay for sex, and it goes
All right.
back to the same thing we were talking about before.
So I've never done that. I've
yeah.
never done that ever. It's not something that I would do. Obviously, you have a wife or you have a girlfriend. You're paying for it all the time. Whatever. That's a whole different type of conversation.
Yeah.
But the whole notion of like paying a professional for it, like, it's the ridiculous to me. It doesn't make any sense.
Here's what I think
How
would
much
happen.
would you pay and who in Hollywood?
No, here I would sell my soul. I would sell my
the whole
soul
soul
for J-Lo.
For J-Lo.
For sure.
All right, there you go.
No, I think for me, here's how my brain works.
Cash is worth more than your soul, though, at this point. So
No,
like,
I don't have any cash, and
All right, so like,
I can't even visualize me having cash.
What's
enough cash?
What's a
to
number
give these
that
people.
hurts you right now? Where like you got to sell things in order to get to jail. This is more of a question of your bank account.
Oh,
than like
dude,
it's just
dude,
jail.
we're doing a podcast in a basement for nobody. $1,000 fucks me up for a little while.
All right,
now.
fair enough.
No,
Sell the soul.
This is what I was gonna say. And
How
this
about if I said you can't talk to your mom ever again?
for J-Lo? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I would cut out my whole family.
The
I would give up everything I know
The
for
whole.
J-Lo.
I said you can't do comedy anymore for J-Lo.
I would do that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
All
I would
right.
do that.
Wow.
I'd end up cheating on her. Because I do comedy on the side. Like she'd be like, "Did you fucking comedy?
Did you do
today?
jokes
Did
tonight?
you fucking comedy
You
tonight?"
smell like liquor. Why are you so sad? You've been so
No.
happy this last time not doing jokes.
No, this is what I was gonna say. Now I'm off track of my brain. I forgot where I was at.
Celebrity Anna Faris.
No.
Scarlett Johansson.
Money
Chris
for
Pratt.
sex. Oh, money for sex. This is how my brain works. Is that if I paid money for sex, no matter how much money I pay, it's kind of like when I get a massage.
Yeah.
If there's like any period of time where they're like, if they're putting oil on their hands, there's like a clock
You're
going
not
in my
massaging
head.
right now.
Right.
Why are you putting oil? This is a
Right.
massage, not a put oil. on your
Right.
hands.
So she gets on top, and I don't like to move. I'm like, really? I'm paying for this? Like
Wow.
that's what would happen. So there would be no enjoyment in even getting a prostitute.
I got some other disclosure. I've been to 2 strip clubs in my life, both for bachelor parties that I didn't enjoy.
I don't like strip clubs.
I don't like them either.
I only go to strip clubs when I know the person that I'm with is going to have a better time in their day if they go to strip club. Like I had a buddy
Like
who
with
had a
you?
Maserati, and I wanted to drive his Maserati, and he got drunk. There was an unlimited bar tab at my show. I gave it to him, so then I just kept doing time. They were like, do as much time as you want, and I was watching him trying to see how drunk he got because I wanted to drive this Maserati. Then he's on. Then I come back, and I'm like, you can't drive your Maserati. So then we go to every strip club on the way home because I know he loves strip clubs.
You get to drive the Maserati.
I get to drive the Maserati till 9 a.m.
All right, fair enough.
So,
all right. Yeah, the whole notion of a strip club is like sad to me.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, it's not fun at all. If it also doubled as like a brothel, then I could kind of see the appeal of it. But the whole notion of like paying, and then my mom just walked in. Look at her. How's it going? That's not my mom. Sorry.
Welcome. We're just wrapping up a podcast and we're breaking all the walls. We would love it if you sat anywhere in the immediate circle of the stage. No, that's not the kind of show. That's not the kind of show we're doing.
Welcome to the stage.
That's not the kind of show we're doing. But this is I don't know. I guess we have to wrap it. There's so many. I want to do a whole other episode with you.
Let's do it.
We just cracked the surface on what I want to talk about with you.
I'm sorry I was late. I rode my motorcycle here.
Stop calling it a motorcycle.
It's a hog.
We're gonna go outside and we're gonna teach. You're gonna teach me how to use it. You're
gonna need earplugs.
The only thing I actually should be plugging is I have an album coming out next week.
That's awesome.
It's my first album. I'm very excited about it. Check it out. It's called Naked and Amused. Comedy at a Nudist Colony. I did comedy at a nudist colony. I thought it'd be a good angle. And I'm releasing it next week.
Congratulations, man.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
So check that out. By the time this podcast comes out, it probably exists. Check out the live shows. Check out Kenny Garcia. I am Kenny Garcia. On all of the things except for Snapchat.
Yeah, I'm on the Snapchat too, probably as I am Kenny Garcia.
My name is Dan Frigolette. This is Comedy's Best Kept Secret Tour podcast. Thank you for listening. If you found us on iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher, we're on the other one that you didn't find us on. Check us out there. Tell your friends. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Dan. That was fun.
Kenny Garcia, guys.
It was fun.